mark your calendars, the GREEKGODATHON is coming, and I haven't read it yet because I got it for my birthday last year. Would you have given me this prompt a year ago, I would have screamed and cried. Hello lovely bookworms and welcome to a new video. I'm Esmay from Paradise of Pages on Instagram and also on Twitter, and today, as you could have seen from the title, we are doing my Game of the Books for February. February has a lot of things to think about. I have 3 readathons, 2 read-alongs, at least I think that one is starting in February, and a book of the month. So before we go into that, I will quickly mention the ones that I am participating in, or at least attempting. I do have to say that one of the readathons is very difficult, so I might just see as we go, but I do want to mention it. And let's just get into it. So the one book that I have to read for the month of February is the monthly book club book for the Enchanted book club, which is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This is going to be a reread for me, but I do have to get this on the list because I do have to read that. It's quite hefty, but I think I finished it in about one sitting the first time, so I'm positive I can finish this quite quickly, but I do want to see if I can get that on my TBR. Then there are 2 read-alongs starting in February, at least I think, and that is the read-along for Jade City, and then we have the read-along for the Poppy War, which has started in January with the Poppy War, but considering I've already read the Poppy War, I want to sort of put in the second month and read the Dragon Republic, which is the sequel. We'll see if I can get that on my TBR, but those are the 2 read-alongs that I want to incorporate. And then last but certainly not least, there's 3 readathons that I'm participating in, and the first one being the Simsathon. I am actually a co-host for the Simsathon, and I'm going to be co-hosting, and I'm going to be Team Pleasant, so I'm very excited to be the leader of that team. I will have to put in extra effort. I am doubling up books, otherwise I won't be able to get through February, but we'll see as we go. So that is readathon number 1. I will give you the TBR for that one after my Game of the Books TBR because I'm hoping I can combine them as much as possible. Considering I have 5 rolls, so 5 books, I hope that I can fit them somewhere. Then the second one is Polarthon. Again, I will mention that in the end. And something I do want to mention but don't have a kind of not really a TBR for is the Olympics-a-thon hosted by the lovely Charlotte from Clumsy Charlotte. And those prompts are just so difficult to incorporate, so I'm just going to see which books I'm going to get and see if I can fit them somewhere once the month starts. I will link everything down below, from the lead-alongs to the Enchanted Book Club to the readathons. And without further ado, let's just get into it. We are once again rolling for my Game of the Books. This is the board, nothing's changed, all the rules are still the same, and I think I've talked enough, so let's just start with roll number 1. So welcome to a new round of Game of the Books. Why does this look so far apart? It's not, it's fine. I have my trusty D20 here. Can we focus on the D20? Hello? There we go, trusty D20. My elephant is back to play. Let me quickly shuffle the cards. Put them back. And let's start with roll number 1. That's a 1. Not sure if you... Can we focus? There we go. A natural 1. Meaning we're starting off with green. Black cover. I feel like we had this one last time as well. Alright, that's roll number 1. So the first roll was a green, and that was a black cover, and this was the most difficult of all, but I'm stretching this prompt. I really don't care. I feel like it's mostly green, but I'm gonna stretch it, and I'm gonna put Jade City on that spot. I feel like, apart from the title, it's quite black. I'm not sure. This is also black. So I'm just going to put this one in the black cover spot. I hope that fits. That's book number 1. Jade City, from what I know, is about these sort of rivalry clans and in a city full of murder, mystery, and mayhem. Other than that, I don't know that much. Jade is the lifeblood of the island of Kikon. It has been mined, traded, stolen, and killed for, and for centuries, honorable green bone warriors like the Cole family have used it to enhance their magical abilities and defend the island from foreign invasion. I am just in general really excited. I've heard so many great things about this book, and so many people are reading it that it is only fair that I read this. This was a gift from Femke that I received for my birthday, and so I thought I would read this as soon as possible. And let's just move on to roll number 2. Roll number 2. Here we go. 18. 18. Making it 19, which is an orange. Contemporary. Alright, we can do that. Can we focus? There we go, contemporary. Roll number 2 was an orange, and that is a contemporary. And would you have given me this prompt a year ago, I would have screamed and cried, but right now it's actually really nice and something that I needed. I think it will probably not be a surprise that I'm going to put the Spanish Love Deception on this list. So if you don't know what this is about, this is basically a contemporary adult romance, and we follow our main protagonist Lena, Lena, and she has to go to her sister's wedding, and she is getting married to the brother of her ex. So she kind of wants someone to go with her, and so her co-worker Erin volunteers to go with her. They don't like each other, so that's already where the fun starts. That said, I feel like the way that this is written is just something I really like. It's angsty, there's a close proximity prompt or trope in there, there's enemies to lovers, there's just it's just something that I really enjoy, and I hope that my co-hosts for the Enchanted Book Club will also enjoy this. Let's move on to roll number 3. Roll number 3. 15. Wait, let me see if I can we focus? 15. Another orange. Fantasy book. Alright, we can work with that. Fantasy book. So roll number 3, and roll number 3 was another orange, and that means fantasy. I don't think you can see it from all the way over there, but you've seen it in the clip. And for this one, I'm going to continue the Polar Bear Explorers Club series. I'm going to be reading Explorers on Black Ice Bridge. I'm pretty sure this is the 3rd one. This should be the 3rd one in the Polar Bear Explorers Club series, and I've started those last year and I really want to continue. I think that these are very cute. Basically, we follow our main protagonist Stella in the first book, who wants to become a polar bear explorer and have all of these amazing adventures. And I don't want to say too much because I feel like this is a book that you should just experience. You can also listen to the audiobooks. They're all on Scribd and they're really brilliant. I loved every minute of the audiobook, so I might read this on audiobook. I'm not sure yet. And yeah, that is book number 3. Roll number 4. Roll number 4. 16. Why are we rolling so high? 16. Ooh, yellow, meaning it's one of your favorites. Let's see, what do we get? A new series. Can we focus? New series. Alright. Roll number 4 is really exciting because roll number 4 is a yellow, and that means that I should read one of your favorites, and I'm gonna go for yellow new series. So I have to start a new series, and this is actually perfect. So I'm gonna be reading one of Sasha's favorites from The Wild Sasha. This is, fun fact, actually a book that she gifted me, and I haven't read it yet because I got it for my birthday last year, and I should really read it. So I'm gonna do that this month. And so the book that I'm talking about is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. Like I said, I've gotten this book from Sasha last year, and I really have to read it. I feel like this will be something that I will truly enjoy, and from what I know, this is set in the hearts of Russia. It's very cold, very wintry, and there's a lot of folklore. I think there's a lot of Russian folklore in the sense of Baba Yaga, I think. I don't know too much about Russian folklore. Sasha does. Sasha absolutely loves these, and so it's only fair that I pick it up, and I will read it this month. I will stick to it. I will read it. Which then leaves us with roll number 5. Let's hope we don't surpass the 63 because we're getting very close, and if we roll a 20 then we're screwed. But we'll see. Let's move on to roll number 5. And finally, roll number 5. One more. 7. Finishing it off with a wild card. I always like wild cards. They're always so nice. It helps me so much. So that was the final roll. Luckily for me, no surpassing the 63 and also landing on a wild card spot. This was what I needed this month. We always need wild cards, but especially this month, we need all the wild cards we can get. So for this one, I think I'm going to slot in the final book that I mentioned that I want to read, and that is none other than The Dragon Republic. I am just really excited for this. This is huge. I think I'm going to listen to this on audio because I don't want to read this physically, but yeah, it's been a while since I read the first one, so I should really continue this series, and I am excited to be reading with a lot of other people following along with the read along, and so yeah, I'm gonna listen to this on audiobook. Basically, the first book follows Rin, who is studying hard to become a student at the academy, and she has to face this literally horrendous exam, and she gets to this academy and then she is taught a lot of different things, and there's just so much in these books. I do have to give a 100% trigger warning. It's not a fun book. The first one is really absolutely brutal, and I am not expecting anything less from the second one. I do have to say that I think it's a very important book, and it's a really good book, and I'm happy that I read the first one on audio, because at certain points, if I would have read it myself, as in read it physically and not via audiobook, I would have stopped and sort of reread certain passages and probably been violently ill. But it is such a good book, and so I really do want to continue with this series, so I hope to be reading the second one in February. So those were all 5 of the books for my Game of the Books TBR. I feel like the board was okay with me, so it'll probably kill me in 60 different ways by the time we get to March and we actually have GREEKGODATHON, which is gonna be pain, but that's okay. So let's just get into the Simsathon. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 prompts, and I'm 100% doubling up. I am also going to fit in quite a few of the books that I've already mentioned, but I thought I would give you the TBR for that nonetheless. So the first prompt we have is The Sims, which is read a book in your favorite genre, and for me that's going to be a fantasy book. And so for this one I am going to slot in The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. Let me quickly go change out the battery because the battery is dead, and I'll be right back. So if the angle changes, that's why. Small intermission, we're back. Like I said, for the first prompt, the favorite genre, I'm gonna read The Bear and the Nightingale. Next up we have Living Large, and that is to read a book over 500 pages. I'm pretty sure this one has a lot more. It's literally, let me see, 654 pages. So I'm going to put this in the Living Large segment. Next up we have House Party, which is to read a book with multiple POVs, and that's the only book that I don't think I can fit into the books I've already mentioned. So I'm gonna add one that I should have read years ago. I should have read this absolutely years ago, and I'm blaming myself, but that's okay. So in this spot I'm gonna put King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This follows the story of Nikolai Lantsov, and I am so excited to read more about him. I've heard mixed reviews for this book, so we'll see what I think of it, but I'm nonetheless really excited. So next up I have Hot Date, which is to read a romance, and of course I'm reading The Spanish Love Deception for that one. So next up we have Vacation, which is either a journey or a different country. This is both, and I'm going to put the Dragon Republic in that spot. The next prompt we have is Unleashed, which is animals, and so I'm going to go for the bear and the nightingale because there's already two animals in the title, bear and a nightingale, so I'm going to put that in that spot. So next up we have Superstar, which is a famous main character or a main character that's royal, and so I'm going to go for King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo once again. Making Magic is a fantasy book, and I am literally just, I could have passed it in almost all of the books I've mentioned apart from The Spanish Love Deception, but King of Scars, definitely fantasy. And then last but certainly not least is my own personal prompt, which is the Pleasant prompt, which is Strong Family Ties. And I'm going to go for The Spanish Love Deception. In this one, Catalina is very, very close to her family, especially her sister, and so I think it is only fair that I put this in that spot. So let's then move on to Polarthon, which is hosted by the amazing JD Ray Reads. This is a week-long readathon, I have to say, and I'm not sure if I can finish all of the 3 books because I'm going to do 3 books this week in this week, but we'll see. I am doubling up because you are allowed to double up as long as the prompts touch, and so that's what I'm going to do. I am going to go for Team or Root Arctic Animals, mostly because that fits the books that I already have. And so the first prompt for that is Cozy Vibes, and I'm going to go for The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This gives me all the cozy vibes. I already know that because I've already read it, which I think is even more fair, so that's the first one. Next up, the 2 that I'm doubling up is Snowy Cover and Animal Friend, and I'm going to go for The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden because it both has a very wintry, snowy cover and has animal friends in the title, so I'm gonna do that one. And then last but certainly not least, we have Arctic Setting and of course Polar Fantasy, and I'm gonna put Explorers on Black Ice Bridge in this spot. I'm guessing there's gonna be a black ice bridge, Arctic setting, and I'm 100% certain that this is a polar fantasy, so that's gonna be my 3rd book for Polarthon. As for the Olympics-a-thon, which I already mentioned, I haven't picked out any books just yet. I'm gonna see if any of the books I have here would actually fit. It's just very, very difficult for me to get everything in, so I might just read a prompt here and there. I am not gonna be too hell-bent on finishing all of this as long as I finish the book that I have to read for the Enchanted Book Club and hopefully finish a couple for the Sims-a-thon. And we'll see. If I change these throughout the month, again, that is fine. I am not gonna put myself up for failure and put 60 books on here because I just know I won't be able to read it, because I also have work and I have my thesis to write, so there's a lot to do. So that is my TBR for February. Let me grab all of the books. So the books I have for February are Explorers on Black Ice Bridge, The Spanish Love Deception, The Dragon Republic, Jade City, King of Scars, and The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. So these are the 6 books. I think this should be doable, she says, and she probably reads one. We'll see. But this is my TBR for February. I feel like this will be quite a long video because of so many readathons and things to talk about, but I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless. I'm so excited to actually be going into this game once again, and I hope that you're enjoying it too. I feel like these rules are really working for me right now. I also want to tell you guys that next week on the same day, February 4th, mark your calendars, the GREEKGODATHON is coming, and I thought I would add a little bit of a snippet here to give you a little bit of a teaser of what is to come. Hello, fellow Olympians. I am Zeus, and I'm here to ask you for your aid to fight against the Titans. So yeah, GREEKGODATHON is coming. I'm so excited. For now, this is everything. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and press that little bell icon so you get post notifications every single time that we post a video. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!